It's Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Hello, this is Dino Geek Reviews Mr. Blue. Today we are deciphering, analyzing, critiquing, breaking down one of the great series, at least for the first half of. I'm critiquing the whole series, but the first half is really good. Luke Cage Season 1 review. Okay guys, this is a new editor I'm using, so I'm going to try, instead of recording each 40-second, each part I want to break down in the review, I'm going to try and say all I want in a long period of time at this point, and just basically ramble on and see if my editor thing does it. If it does it good, then this will be the review you see. If it doesn't, you guys won't know. Okay, let's break down Luke Cage. Luke Cage is breaking down, unlike Daredevil Season 2, where it's breaking into 3 parts, where there's Daredevil and Punisher stuff, there's the Daredevil Elektra stuff, Daredevil and the hand stuff. Luke Cage is more breaking down into 2 parts. There's the Luke Cage and Cottonmouth half, where it's like crime drama, much like the other Netflix series, that fits right in well with Daredevil, Netflix, and Jessica Jones. That's one half of the series. That's the first half of the series. And then the other half is Luke Cage and Diamondback, which is pure, unadulterated superhero cheeseball. And right in between that sandwich of superhero fare, we see Luke Cage's origin story with the awesome, iconic look straight out of the 1970s comic book. The series takes place roughly, I think, right after Jessica Jones, but around the same time as Daredevil Season 2. There have been hints and signs towards it, lifting that might be after Daredevil Season 2. Okay, now let's begin with the first thing, the plot. The plot of the show is Luke Cage. He's back. Well, he's not back. He's gone to Harlem, where his lady is from. He's still laying off it, and after Jessica Jones shot him, he's trying to figure out what he wants to do, and he's just a cleaner guy. And yes, there's a lot of coffee in like one episode, the pilot episode, which I know doesn't have the name pilot. I love Netflix for doing that. And he doesn't want to be the hero. He's like the reluctant hero, but by the end of the first episode, he turns around it and he shapes up once Cottonmouth's men shoots up Papa's place of like a haircut place. Also, the Papa guy, he's kind of like the Uncle Ben for Luke Cage in this series, in that he dies and he holds deeper meaning, and there's a swear jar, which is hilarious. And there's the guy Shades as like a side villain in this show. He was also in Sons of Anarchy, but he's much more cooler here and done much more serious here than he was in Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy, he was like a fun character you saw doing silly stuff. In this show, you see Shades as he's just a fly guy. He's a fly guy. He's got them shades. Got a cool personality. There's also Mama Mabel, which in the beginning you don't think she'll be the main threat, but she ends up like the biggest threat in the series, and she's like a threat left dangling. And also, I have to say, where Daredevil Season 2 ends with shambles, and Jessica Jones ends with her killing the main bad guy, in this one, despite me relating to it, Luke Cage has it the worst out of the 4 main characters in the Netflix build-up universe to Defenders, because he doesn't win in the end. In the end of his series, he gets put in prison for everything he does in these 13 episodes. most of the first half is Cottonmouth and Luke Cage stuff where it's like he's trying to deal with the guy and like take the guy down, sort of paralleling Wilson Fisk and how it's handled and how both are shaped by their fathers. Cottonmouth really doesn't want the gangster life, but it's forced upon him at a young age, and both end up killing their dads in the show for different reasons. Wilson Fisk kills his mom because his mom is being abused by, not his mom, he kills his dad because his mom is being abused by the dad. In the show, let's just say Cottonmouth's mom isn't exactly a likable character, I'd say at least. And Mama Mabel type girl, I know she has a different name, she's the senator lady in the show, and I think it would even be more interesting. She's the same girl from Civil War. I know. But I mean, it would just add to her character, like she breaks down these group of Avengers into two separate units, and she tries to get a street level hero arrested. I mean, that would just make her more interesting to me. You know, you can't have everything with Marvel. And like I said, the first half is very much crime drama, and the latter half is more typical superhero stuff. Though episode 12 is a very fun episode. If you're not gonna watch the whole series, like in each one of these reviews, I recommend one episode to at least watch. I recommend watching episode 12, the episode before the last episode, because we also get a Wu-Tang Clan cameo, and it's fun, and there's a little nods to Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage more accepting of a superhero role. Okay, the first half is really good. Most of the Cottonmouth and Luke Cage stuff through episode 1 through episode 7. Episode 8 through episode 13, things don't necessarily get bad, but quality of the show kind of derails into more CW quality TV. Because Diamondback says all this interesting stuff that paints him why he's a villain, but we don't really get to see it. We see Luke Cage's flashback as a kid, but we never see why he became like the bad guy that he is. And it's never really that fleshed out, so it's kind of hard to find him a likable villain as much as Cottonmouth, where we saw he had to do the tough thing in like his last episode, because they showed us the origin story of Cottonmouth in the same episode they killed him. Just ouch. And I also love the imagery where they show the Biggie poster in the background of that place that everyone's hanging out in the show most of the episodes. And when his sister takes over the place, the poster is completely different, fitting more of her queen-like attitude. Also, the series leaves it very open for another season 2. And oh my god, we're gonna get more Diamondback, aren't we? The way they ended up the setup. And also, I will not be missed if I do not mention this. Some people will probably get mad at me if I do not mention this in this review, but oh my god, the music in this Netflix series is about on par with the Hip Hop Nation. Hip hop music, mostly 90s music of hip hop, as like Guardians of Galaxies for like the fun pop 70s, 80s music. The music is fantastic in this show. But the music alone is not a reason to watch it. But I mean, it is great. And like, the music for each episode is very fitting for each episode. Though, the song I like the most, I think it might have been the show, it might have not been, was like Good Man. Because it's also very fitting of what Luke Cage is doing at the show at that time. He ain't got no baby mama. He ain't got no worry. He ain't got no kids. He's just working few jobs, trying to keep his day job. And bad stuff happens. It's kind of like the El Paso song in Breaking Bad. But the show is all around. It's a fantastic Netflix show. Now, if I were to rate this show a certain rating after my long ramble for 8 minutes. 9 minutes, actually. How I would rate this. I like Daredevil Netflix the most. Jessica Jones would be down below that. And then Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist. So Daredevil Season 2 I gave a 9. And I think I gave Jessica Jones also a 9. I think I gave Iron Fist too high of a rating when it came out, so I'm going to give this series about the same rating I would give Agent Carter, and I give this an 8 out of 10. Go watch this. If you like gangster stuff in general, at least watch the first half and episode 12 and you'll just love the series, and don't watch any more of it unless you're a hardcore Luke Cage fan. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. 8 out of 10. Outie. Not out yet. You gotta see this pretty face before you exit this video and then you touch yourself for the night. Good night, folks. I also forgot to mention inside the review that there's also Hammer Industry cameos, not the actual main character that was in Iron Man 2, but little Easter eggs, and there is a Moon Knight which looks straight out of the comics at like episode 13. 100 Days, 100 Nights is also a good song at the last episode. I want to say it's a great show. Go watch it. It's not the best of Marvel, but it's also not the worst. Go watch it. Hope you enjoy the show. Like my review. If you like, one down below. Subscribe if you like these kind of reviews. I know it's been a while. I know the last like 40 seconds or like a minute or two my review video it like cut off and it's purely dark. It's because I'm still getting used to a new editor, same app device I'm using. And Blues out.